It's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money P. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DePrima go way back. Tag Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DePrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DePrima. The show is First Things First, and my first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praise, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it going. Let's stir the pot. Let's talk about it. Let's do this. What do we do around here for those who are new? And it's funny. I have some people that listen all the time, and they just like it when I say it. Hour one, we go look at what's happening on the left coast. We look to the local. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond with freestyle phones. Bring up whatever topic you want. Hour three, we do a deep dive with a person of interest, a topic of interest. We get into it. In hour three today, well, it's a messy Monday. It's always a messy Monday, inspired by Big John. I call it my opinionated friend's take on relationships. Today's opinionated friend happens to be an expert. She's a psychologist. Dr. Shalonda Crawford will join me in hour three. We're going to help you and me straighten out our relationship mess ahead of the holidays. You're always invited in, 800-920-1580. That's how you get in. Reciprocity, talk back. That's what we do around here. And you are first on the list, 800-920-1580. Joining me this morning, making it out here on in the middle of the early morning hour to join me in studio. He is the founder of a group called Second Call. I hope you know them by now. He's a CEO also. It's a violence reduction and reentry organization in the greater Los Angeles area. Longtime activist, and he is truly making an impact on this community. If you know, you know. Skipp Townsend, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. Thank you for having me on.
Happy solar return.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. 59 plus 1 today.
What?
Yeah, you just mentioned a name, Dr. Crawford.
Dr. Shalonda Crawford. Dr. Sunshine. Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
She tries to make me cry.
Oh.
No.
Okay, good.
I
well,
avoid her.
Yeah, she does make me cry, and I just go for it. Just big, ugly tears.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm happy to have her in. Of course, she has her own show Sunday mornings.
Yes.
But, it's great to see you live and in person.
It's
what a
great
way
to
to
seen.
celebrate your born day, right?
Yes, indeed. Starting it off right here at KBLA 1580.
Yep. So, let's talk about it. I mean, I know there was probably a time in your life when you didn't think you'd make it to 59 plus 1.
Not just that. I mean, I didn't think I was going to make it to 21. I didn't think I was going to make it to 25, 32. 1986, I was 120 pounds, and I went to prison system. There were girls in the 6th grade bigger than me, Dominique.
What? when you went to prison, you were small.
I was about 120-something pounds.
Yeah.
You know, you can go to any
Just
elementary
a
school
little
and there
bigger
was
than me.
there was 6th grade girls bigger than me.
What?
Playing handball and stuff. Yeah, so I didn't think I was going to make it through life, you know, but
how did you get in that predicament to be, you know, at such a young age?
Careless, just making all the poor choices, you know, running after people who were 2-3 years older than me, and instead of, you know, going after an education, instead of doing the right thing, I had choices. You know, some people say there are no choices in the environment, but there really are.
Well, we always have choices, but we don't necessarily have support for the choices, right? I mean, right. I know you take responsibility for your life.
Right.
I'm not suggesting. Right. I take responsibility for mine. I've made some sucky choices along the way myself. But there are conditions.
Yes. So a lot of people, you know, talk about the syndrome, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful, but the crabs in the barrel type thing.
Right.
But, you know, as Tanya, that you just had on your show,
yes.
as she always talks about that they don't belong in a barrel. You know, so when you put people or when you create the conditions that create us to start pulling each other down and talking about each other and hurting one another, I really can't blame myself as much as I can blame the conditions I'm in. It's survival.
Right.
It's a
competition for scarce resources.
Yeah.
In certain communities, those resources are more scarce.
Right.
It's true. Crabs don't belong in a barrel.
Right.
And if you missed the conversation with Miss Tanya, you can hear it wherever you get your podcasts. All of our shows are available for free wherever you get podcasts or on our app.
Right.
So did you have an aha moment where you turned your life around? Was it gradual, or was it like, you know, was it an incident? What was it? Because usually when I talk to people over the years, a lot of times it's, you know, they get shot or something.
Right. So, yeah, 1988, I'm sorry. I'm sitting here thinking, how am I going to survive this? I'm fresh out of prison, and before I went to prison, violence was up. But in 1988, it was, ooh.
Wait, 98?
No, 88, I'm
88,
sorry.
okay,
Yeah.
88.
So in 1988, it was like, ooh, every day I'm getting shot at. Each and every day. It was like being in war, you know.
Right. That was peak crack days, right?
Yeah. So I always thought peak crack days was 84, 85, and that was some horrible violence.
Yeah.
But I went to prison and came home, and it was overwhelming violence.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure out how am I going to survive, and I gave up and said, well, this is probably going to be the year that I lose my life. So that moment I was thinking I have to get out the violence, but I didn't stop the criminal-like behavior or mentality.
Wow.
I just stopped being violent because I figured that was attracting the violence to me.
Kind of like a non-violent criminal.
Yeah, just, hey, I'm going to focus on money. I'm going to focus on, how do I make money and live a lifestyle. But 1998.
Yeah,
the whole
10 years
changed.
later.
10 years later, it all changed for me because now I've been back and forth in and out of jail, and now I was facing a life sentence, and my father passed away. And it gave me time to reflect. My family was telling me you can't come home for the funeral because of my violent history. So I started thinking, how did I become violent? And,
because it would cause drama at the funeral?
Well, no, they said I couldn't come because of my violent history, that I was a danger to society, and they wanted us to pay like $10,000 just to go to the church. I was going to be handcuffed. I couldn't go to the repast.
Wow.
That type of thing. And they said, nah, we don't have $10,000 to pay for them to drive you down here.
Wow.
So that was.
So you were.
So that was the aha
moment.
Like, how did I become violent? And I started thinking, I was taught if somebody hits me, I need to hit them back.
Right.
If they bigger than me, I need to pick up something and knock the dog out of them. You know, I was taught these things.
Right.
My brother hit me in the head with a fire truck, and I told my mother, and she grabbed me and said, "Stop telling. Nobody like a tattletale. You go in there and fight him. Y'all the same age." I'm like, "Mama, that boy bigger than me. He 2 years older than me." But she's thinking about pregnancy. 9 months, had a baby. Got pregnant again. 9 months, had a baby. So,
right.
"Oh, you guys same age?" No, we're not. That's at least 18 months. But you know.
So yeah, but a lot of us do say that kind of stuff to our kids, right? You supposed to go
Right.
beat the crap out of them. That's what you're supposed to do. Man up.
Yeah, but see, the difference was he has the same mom as me. So she taught him the same thing. So we just in there fighting.
Right.
Yeah, so I learned how to be violent.
Right.
So when I hit the streets, if you can't hit as hard as my brother, if you can't fight like my brother, then you got a problem.
He set a high bar.
He set a high bar.
Wow.
So
1998, Papa passes.
yeah,
You don't get to go to the funeral, and you're reflecting on this while incarcerated.
while incarcerated. In the hole at that.
What?
They put me in the hole. That was the
Which
reward
is
I got. from my
Solitary
father.
confinement.
Yes, it's not. It used to be 23 hours in the cell and 1 hour out. Nah, it was like 14 days of straight, never leaving the cell. No visits, no
What?
nothing. Yeah.
Wow. How do you survive that and not lose your mind?
I was losing it.
You were losing your mind.
I was
remember-
talking to the rat. We call him Freeway Freddy. I was in there talking to the rat. I would leave stuff in my shoe so that I wasn't going nowhere. I wasn't using the shoe, so I would leave stuff in the shoe and think if he started eating, he'll stay in there. But he would just eat the food and leave.
Wow. Even the rat wouldn't hang out.
Right.
That's
He was like, "Man,
crazy.
you got to stay in here. I don't."
That's so sad. But I remember asking that question of Geronimo Gijaga Pratt when he was released after 27 years,
he did
most
way
of
more
it in the
time.
hole. And he told me he had to work out and exercise every day. And, I was like, well, I work out 5 days a week. He said, nah, sister,
Yeah.
7. Every single day. He would do
Right.
Tai Chi. He would work out. I was just shocked at his positive mindset when he came out. I was like, I would be probably not just insane, but mean.
Yeah. One of the things, though, being incarcerated is there are books. And it just matters, what book you choose. So, when I was first incarcerated, I'm reading Iceberg Slim, Donald Goines. So I'm learning more and more ignorance. I'm learning the ignorance of other people.
Right.
But, somebody like Geronimo Pratt, of course, he's reading books that, help educate. And,
Right.
So he's getting an education. He's working out. And, those are the role models for most individuals that go to prison is have that consistency.
Fast forward to today, we're talking with Skipp Townsend. I'm going to get his take on what's going on in these streets and in City Hall and find out how we get from 1998 to where we are right now at the solo return of one of LA's, really, I would say, mostly unsung treasures. Skipp Townsend is my guest, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward. Environmental justice, pollution, and climate. In Los Angeles and across America, people of color are suffering and dying from disproportionate health impacts on a planet that has less than 10 years to prevent irreversible damage. Heat illnesses, respiratory illnesses, water-related illnesses, food system impacts, insect-related diseases, black maternal health, and mental health effects. As the impacts of climate change mount, millions of vulnerable people, our people, are going to bear the brunt of these extreme environmental events, which will likely lead to forced displacement, loss of cultural identity, and other related risks. These realities are as real as rain. Stay tuned to KBLA Talk 1580 for more details about the most progressive multimedia and live events campaign any black media outlet has ever undertaken to combat the climate catastrophe. Experts, events, empowerment. It's all on the way from unapologetically progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We don't black down. We level up.
Level up, 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 level up.
At Ulta Beauty's Black Friday sale, I get up to 50% off all week long on over 275 can't-miss deals. Starting November 19th, shop 40% off stunning Morphe eyeshadow palettes and 50% off select Tula skincare products. Plus, starting Tuesday, shop $12 mascaras from brands like Tarte, Benefit, and Fenty, and $12 lippies from brands like Lancome and Kylie Cosmetics. Hurry in store or place your online pickup order today. Ulta Beauty, the possibilities are beautiful.
King C. Gillette knows you're dedicated to your barbershop routine. But what about after? What's your routine for facial hair to avoid dry skin, itching, and beard rough? Well, the King C. Gillette Beard Oil is the perfect fit for making your beard feel as good as it looks. It softens your facial hair and moisturizes to help prevent itch due to dry skin. Get facial hair that feels as good as it looks. Just trim, wash, and soften. With King C. Gillette.
We've got a lot to talk about. Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the voice of reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DePrima right now.
We are back to me. We're back to Skipp Townsend, and shout out to the folks on the chat in YouTube. If you want to join, just go to youtube.com and type in KBLA 1580. And for those of you who are already posted up in the chat, please hit the like. Please subscribe to us. It makes all the difference in the world. You can find us on social media at every platform, KBLA 1580. You can find me at DePrima Radio, and I'll be happy to see you there. What are folks talking about? Ronald Malone says, shout out to our guest. He also said top of the morning, KBLA family. Good morning to me, and a shout out to you. Lots of love on your solar return. Apparently I fixed it, Miles. Okay, he's got something going on. See how I did that, MacGyver? Anyway, we're talking with Skipp Townsend. Fast forward to today. We're talking about your life. I said we're going to find out what you think about what's going on in these streets. The Gentile killer says what's going on in the streets is hunger and houselessness. I think we know that, sadly. And hopefully all of us are doing something, whatever we can do in whatever lane we're in, to make a difference. Know that that is something that you deal with. In fact, you're doing a food giveaway, right, for the holiday?
Well, we were going to do a food giveaway, but every Tuesday before Thanksgiving, we do a turkey giveaway. And we're going to have about 800 turkeys, 3,500 South Normandy Avenue, the Abundant Life Christian Church. And we've been there since, I want to say, 2009, and we've been doing the food giveaway since about, I think, 2010. So
wow, that's a lot of years.
It's a lot of years, a lot of turkeys, and they go so fast. We always want to start at 8 o'clock in the morning, but by 9:30, 10 o'clock, they're all gone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm sure people are lined up early.
People are lined up early, and but it's the same place where we help people get careers, and we get about 35 people, every Thursday night at 6 p.m., and we're handing out careers the same way we hand out turkeys. We educate the people, and matter of fact, a lot of them are working next door to, where you are now. So, just
the ones that have gone through the Second Call program,
yes,
that are currently building Destination Crenshaw. And I got to say, I love seeing all the guys from Second Call and women. Right. When I come to work, they're really on time.
Oh,
when I come
so
to work.
they have to be at work at 6 o'clock, and when I got here at about 5:40, they were already sitting in the trailers.
They're posted
working.
up. Yeah,
they have they have to be 2 hours early before they could ever be 2 minutes late. you know?
Yeah, well, they're amazing. And but a lot of these guys, come from situations with different kinds of conditions that we were talking about, or
Yes,
experiences that are maybe similar to yours or maybe different, but for whatever reason, they got in a conundrum where
Yes.
they're not able to get their life on track. And that's part of what Second Call does.
Yeah, so one of the assistant superintendents next door, he was telling me that, he has 3 monitors on his computer and all the work he's doing. And, after 7 years in prison, shout out to Fagan. But so I called, I said, well, where's my other guy? Where's Charles? And he said, oh, he's in his office. So I called Charles and said, hey, how many monitors do you have in your office? And he didn't understand the question. He said, how many murders I have? He said, well, I had the 1 murder, the manslaughter. And I said, man, I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you about monitors, and but I mean, it's a beautiful thing to come out of the housing, the enclosed housing where you don't have a key and you can't come home and you waiting on visit and package to have the freedom, not just to be free, but to employ others. One is a carpenter, one's an electrician, and they have so many people working under them, and it's a beautiful thing that they're giving back to society because of second chances.
Yeah, and those are careers. I mean, those aren't even survival jobs. Those are like old-fashioned.
Right. Yeah, they'd be mad if I told you how much money they make.
Yeah, but well, it's none of my business. Right. But I can guess.
Yes.
So let's go back to 1998.
Yes.
Your dad passes away.
Yes.
You're stuck with, the rodent.
Right. So I'm looking at 40 years, and I go to trial, and I beat it. I beat it in trial. Still couldn't go home. Still had a couple months to do violation, probation, whatever it was. And I came home and said, that's it. I'm never putting myself in these situations again. And I got in a tow truck and said, I'm working with a 310 motor in the very next year when they first started, and I'm up and down the freeway. I'm towing for Baby and all these other, Brandy and Ray J. I'm towing for all the celebrities, all the basketball players. And I said, that's it. That's how I'm going to stay out the community. But my children started repeating the clothing that I was wearing, the language that I was using. They smoking and drinking. I'm going up to the school, and I was like, man, what do I do? And, in 2004, by me going out the country, I violated probation again. So I end up in jail, and there was a list on the window that said, sign up for the American program in 2004.
On the window in jail.
In jail, right.
Oh, wow.
There was a list. And I said,
shout out to Jim Brown. May he rest in peace.
Yes, indeed. Jim Brown, Bo Taylor. It was Looney and
may
Sleep,
he rest
Leon
in
Taft.
peace.
Yeah. Leon's alive, but
I haven't
Looney
seen Leon
wasn't.
in forever, but I was talking about Looney. Yeah.
So I signed up, and I said, oh, these are my guys. I can't wait. And they was telling me they was going to get me in, but they couldn't right then. So when I came home, I'm thinking that I need to change, but I don't know. I didn't gravitate in 2005, and, I was around Bo a lot. And finally in 2006, he said, man, are you serious? What you going to do? He said, you've been just hanging out, man. What you going to do? And I said, no, I'm going to do it. So in 2006, I made the commitment. 2005, I was just a leech, just hanging out.
For those who don't know, Bo Taylor was a gang intervention, similar kind of situation, but not really.
Nah, he was worldwide.
Really.
I'm not worldwide. I'm nationwide. Bo went with Tavis Smiley. He went with James Ingram and Harry Belafonte. I can't think of who else was on that trip. They went to South Africa. They went to Venezuela.
I heard about that.
They went to other places, right?
Yeah. Well, I was, when I first came to LA, I was blessed to be in, I had an assistant who, was like, you need to meet these people because I'm trying to get to know LA. This is in the 90s. And I went to the back room of the radio station where he had arranged, it was about 20 guys in a big circle. And Bo was, the leader of that group. A lot of people there that really helped me understand LA. And I was, that's how I became part of the movement, the peace movement or whatever you want to call it.
Yes,
humanitarian community movement. So you decide to get serious. What does that mean? What does it mean to make a commitment and not be, what did you call it, a leech?
Right. So the commitment was, me and Bo had a conversation, and he said, how much money do you make driving a tow truck? And I told him about $3,000 a week. And he said, well, Skip, I can't give you that. He said, I have a contract. I can give you $1,500. And I said, man, how do you guys live off of $1,500 a week? He said, it's not a week. It's a month. So the commitment was, I gave up my lifestyle at $3,000 a week to live in a humble lifestyle of $1,500 a month. And when I made that commitment, I started going places, asking the county supervisors, Mark Ridley Thomas, and asking council member Bernard Parks, and why aren't you funding Unity One? Why are you allowing us to be out here giving our lives and not getting any money? And a lot of people said, Skip, we offered Bo money. He wouldn't take it because Bo didn't want to do the paperwork. He didn't want to, he didn't want to be held by, by whatever the boundaries were of the limitations of that money. So I said, man, Bo, I'm about to start going after this money. I can't live off $1,500. So
somebody's got to write some grants around.
Right. So
I had that conversation with him so many times. That was, later, because at first nobody wanted to help.
Right.
At first they wouldn't even sit down at the table.
Right.
I remember trying to convene a meeting at the Beat back then. Mm-hmm. And, reaching out. I was like, oh, I'm all idealistic. I'm like, oh, Bo, I can make it happen. I got, Nation, I got Bo, I got the radio station to agree to it, and none of the authorities, none of the lawmakers, none of the law enforcement. They just wouldn't even sit down for a conversation.
Right. Bo was very aggressive too, though, So
yeah.
Bo would call him out on how he felt.
Yeah.
He wouldn't find a humble way.
But it was an off-air conversation.
Right.
Yeah, no, there was no humble way, for sure. No humble way, for sure. But the radio station did end up, and every organization that I've been involved with has ended up supporting in some kind of way that movement. But that's the origin of Second Call. You were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be working inside the system while you work outside the system.
Right. Well, that was still for Unity One. So Second Call was the thought, but Bo and Jim would bark at each other, and I'm like, hey, what are y'all doing? And within a few months, I saw that they were going head to head and it was going to be a split. And I told Bo, as much as I love Bo, I've been knowing what Bo was doing back in the 90s, but it was actually Looney who convinced me when he was talking to the school. He was at the school and he said, the development of the desire for success will determine the level of success achieved. And it just blew my mind like, man.
Say it again.
I forgot it. Wait, hold on. Let me think.
The desire.
Yeah, the desire. Wait, no.
For the
development. It's the development of the desire for success.
Okay.
Will determine the level of success achieved.
Okay, we got news, traffic, and sports right here. We're going to elaborate on that when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DePrima when we come forward.
Good morning, I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A Democratic senator is calling on more transparency regarding a Gaza hospital that Israel claims is being used as a base for Hamas. Speaking on NBC's Meet the Press, Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut said that both Israel and the U.S. should make more information available about the Al-Shifa hospital. He added that making information public could help Israel and the U.S. bolster their case in the court of world opinion. Civil rights activist, the Reverend Al Sharpton, will deliver the eulogy today at the funeral for Dexter Wade. He's the 37-year-old black man who was run over and killed back in March by a Jackson, Mississippi police officer, and his body was buried in a pauper's grave. Sharpton, who was asked by the family to deliver the eulogy, will also be joined by attorney Benjamin Crump. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Sponsored by Boost Infinite.
Drought, war, and rising food prices have doubled the number of families facing malnutrition. You can help. $50 provides a food kit to feed a family for a month. Just text the word radio to 97646.
Is this the dagger?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
LeBron sank a free throw with 1.9 seconds left to help the Lakers beat Houston by 1 at Crypto.com. LeBron had 37 points and 8 assists in 40 minutes. The Clippers are in action tonight at San Antonio. They get their first look at rookie sensation Victor Wembanyama. The Rams got a break. Seattle kicker Jason Myers missed a 55-yard field goal with 3 seconds left. The miss allowed the Rams to hold on for a 1-point win. The Rams are 3-1 in the NFC West. More tough times for the Chargers. They had a 4-point lead at Green Bay with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but couldn't hold it. They lose by 3. The Chargers gave up 322 passing yards. Chargers coach Brandon Staley was beefing with reporters after the game because they asked him about his struggling defense. I would have been asking the same thing. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
November is National Runaway Prevention and Homeless Youth Awareness Month, and the Sanctuary of Hope is shining a light on the situations that cause youth to run away or face a housing crisis. In LA County, nearly 3,000 youth are homeless on the streets each night. All month long, the Sanctuary of Hope will lead activities throughout LA County to inform and mobilize calls for action, and you can help. For more info, go to www.thesoh.org. That's www.thesoh.org. This open enrollment season, LA Care Covered is offering health plans starting at $0 a month. Each plan provides benefits including $0 preventive services, 24/7 telehealth services, around-the-clock nurse advice lines, walk-in minute clinics, and more. Shop and compare premium silver plans with $0 deductibles to help meet your health goals. Ready to shop? Visit us online at lacarecovered.org for a commitment-free instant quote, or speak with us directly at 855-222-4239. LA Care Covered, your affordable path to wellness.
This week at Target, you'll find different early Black Friday deals. Get fun deals on the latest tech, toys, and video games, plus smart deals on small appliances, floor care, and so much more. At Target, you'll discover different early Black Friday deals each week. And get what you need for the holidays fast with free drive-up or score free shipping when you spend $35 or use your red card at Target.com. Get low prices and early Black Friday deals only at Target. Exclusions apply.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find Pinot Noirs and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice. So many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DePrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
I never should have let Big Skip get in that chat. Skipp Townsend is my guest. 800-920-1580. 800-920-1580. Yeah, I mean, it's so many memories. And the thing about it is, even for folks that aren't as familiar, these things impacted the culture and the trajectory of Los Angeles. The way that we deal with violence in the streets, the way that the community responds to crises. The fact that we do have, even with the pandemic and some areas of increased crime, overall, it's nothing like it was before the urban peace movement, intervention, prevention. And even like you talk about Jim Brown and Bo getting into it. Yeah, I was around some of those conversations, but they were back and forth. Like, they would be mad at each other, then they'd be back to, it was like a father-son relationship to me. That's how I saw it. It was like they'd be mad, then now they're back together, then they're mad. One time, Bo got mad at me, and Jim was like, he was the, moderator between me and Bo. I mean, it was just the most interesting relationship. So I think all of those things have levels to it, right?
I'm just blessed to have been in the room and been a part of it, to be able to see it. And, make me want to write a book. And
you should. That'd be amazing.
But in that, there's one person I have to name, and I want to give a shout out to Molly Bell. Because
Molly Bell.
Yeah, keep me right, Molly. Yeah, so I could talk about Bo Taylor and Looney and all them, but the person who opened up the door and gave me office space, 200 North Long Beach Boulevard, was Vicki Lindsay.
Rest in peace, Vicki Lindsay. She was a soldier.
She was my sister. And then when we got closer, she became my mother. And then I started getting mad at her, and she became my grandmother.
All in one day?
All in one lifetime.
In one lifetime, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
For sure. I mean, yeah, rest in peace, Vicki. I had the pleasure of interviewing her over the years and, supporting her work.
Project Cry No More.
And there's tons of others that, that also made a difference. But Vicki's definitely...
Yes.
A pillar in the communities, or was.
A pioneer, pillar. She actually started the work before Lionel Whiteside, her son, was killed. So imagine that. Imagine helping people, and in the midst of helping people, her own child was murdered. So
it's so terrible.
Yes.
Yeah, and when I think of Looney, I told you he was in my graduating class of American, so we were technically classmates in that American curriculum.
So when he was younger, he hung out with a guy named D-Mac and another guy, Jovan Bonarise, Lil Earl, and they would wear blue, everything, blue shoes, blue belts, walk down the street and wonder why the Bloods was jumping them. And so I said, let me fix this for you guys. So I'm calling the little guys over there like, man, can you give them a pass? And Looney, he was Lil Ronnie at the time. He wasn't Looney. He would always say, I don't need a pass. I'll fight him. And he was the smallest thing, too. I was real small back in the 80s, so he was way smaller than me. So when I fast forward and saw him speaking to the school, and now he's big, he has size, and he had the same confidence. But I was like, man, where are you learning that? And he told me, stop running from Bo. Don't run from Bo Taylor no more. So really, he's the one got me in this work.
And it's so different now. I mean, we think of intervention. Prevention is like part of our civic infrastructure at this point.
Right.
But people are not making $1,500 a month anymore.
Right.
I know one of the first things Mayor Karen Bass did was give intervention prevention workers that are affiliated with the city and GRID a raise.
Right.
So that's good. But is it a dying art? I mean, is the younger generation coming on board?
So the younger generation, and when I say younger generation, I'm talking about the 13, 15, 17-year-olds. They're not listening to a guy who just turned 59 plus one.
Right. So what happened to the 20-somethings, the 30-somethings, and the 40-somethings?
Sometimes they're not mature enough. It takes special people to do this work.
Yeah.
So when we go after someone, and, I'm going to speak for myself. When I go after someone,
curriculum.
Yeah, using that I statement. When I go after someone and I want them to do the work, it may not be what they want to do. They may want to just be that ambassador. They don't want to go across the city. They don't want to, do the work the
When
same
you say
way.
ambassador, you're talking about in their own community.
In their own community, you
right.
know, because there are guys I can call who will say, all right, let me work on this, and they'll bring the violence down. But they don't want to come on board. They don't want to do what I do. They don't want to talk about it on the radio. They don't want to go into meetings. They don't want to meet with other people from other neighborhoods. They just want to stop the people close to them from
right. They want to
somebody.
stay connected in their own community. We were talking about that with Mama Boo, and we were talking about it, several other folks, that people don't want to disavow their neighborhoods.
Right.
But you don't necessarily have to do that to be.
No, not at all. And you have Mama Boo on your show, too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you have all the right people on here. Did she sing something?
Yeah, we played one of her songs on the radio.
Oh, okay.
We sure did.
All right.
So, okay, so you, How do you view the state of the city? If you were to give a state of the city address right now for LA, not just Los Angeles proper, but the region, what would you say? Where are we at?
I would say that we are in a sense of where everything unhealthy has become normal. The homelessness, being homeless, not being able to afford proper shelter. To think that we're going to solve every problem with prescribing drugs to people and, giving them medication for whatever the ailment is, and not talk about rehabilitation. How do we there's so many people, I just turned 59 plus one, but how many people out here are 42, 43 and pushing walkers? And they're addicted to their medication that's being prescribed by doctors and stuff. This is what's driving the homeless population. This is what's driving the mental health. And then these are the individuals who are raising children. And then if they're not, then a lot of children are going into placement.
Okay, this is a very not optimistic kind of, assessment. Are you feeling like? Are you feeling discouraged? Are you feeling?
No, I'm feeling like the energy has to change to where we were dealing with 1,213 homicides a year in the city of LA alone, not including Inglewood, Compton, Azusa, and Culver City. Well, now we're not dealing with those numbers. We're dealing with countywide less than 500. But what are our other issues? Do we just ignore them or do we address them? That how many homeless people do we have that have children and they're not living with their children? Or, the first thing somebody wants to do is call DCFS and now separate the kids from their parents. So we have a lot of other issues that weren't as high as they are now. So it's sort of like we're going to have
so violence down, but all these other issues are up. Yeah, you know what? I've asked this to a lot of people, and I'm going to ask you, why do you think so many of us, and by us I'm talking about black people right now, are experiencing this extreme mental health crisis? I feel like it's more than I've seen in my lifetime.
Right.
Of us who have either given up or we have gotten to a level of crisis in terms of our well-being, our mental health, where we cannot manage ourselves.
I think it's embarrassment, to be honest with you, because back in the days, everybody's mother, grandmother had a home, and there was mental health issues. But what would happen is the individuals would self-medicate. They'd go to the store, get a bottle, and they would go home and sleep on the couch in the basement. But now they're outside. And now what we have is individuals have lost the grandmother's house. The houses here in California have gone from $30,000 to $100,000 to where now they're $1 million.
Yeah.
Who can go back and purchase the home that their grandparents bought at $30,000 or their parents bought at $150,000 and now they're $1 million? It just doesn't happen.
Right,
so,
and they either lost them or
they're gone.
They lost them or they sold them or whatever happened.
So people not asking for help. I want to point fingers at the church, not in one in particular, but the churches as well, that most of the pastors now live in a nice home in Moreno Valley, but they drive back to LA to have their Sunday service. So we're not really addressing the community. How do we address the community? The churches have to be open. The pastors have to be willing. We have to create these safe places for the homeless. We have to say, let's stop self-medicating. Let's stop thinking that, I like therapy. I like that, but I don't like the prescription that comes with therapy. You need this to calm you down or you need that. I think that it's embarrassing for a man to say I'm depressed. I can't just go on the radio 6 o'clock in the morning, KBLA, and say I'm depressed.
Yeah.
And people going to be, they're going to be, texting me, man, I heard you was depressed. What's wrong with you? You better man up, and, those type of things. So,
it's right back to, don't tattletale, just go beat your brother's butt.
Exactly.
It's the same kind of conversation, really, right?
Yeah. Don't cry. Don't cry.
You can cry.
No, that's why I'm going to leave before Dr. Sunshine gets there.
The 10 freeway is open, at least. Good news really good news, actually. We kind of thought it was going to go on for months and months. They're still going to be working on it, but it's open now, today.
Right.
Go Go Mayor Bass, go Governor Newsom, and everyone, all those workers on the ground working literally 24 hours a day.
Right.
So we can drive. And
those are great careers too.
those are more guys from Second Call. It actually opened last night. So that's amazing. That's really amazing. Try to focus on something positive on your B-Day. Do you have the same birthday as President Biden?
I don't know.
Apparently, because Molly Bell's in the chat talking about happy birthday, President Biden. So happy birthday to the leaders born on this day.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Okay, we got a lot to talk about. You are having your own turkey giveaway tomorrow at the Abundant Life.
The Abundant Life Church, 3500
Church.
South Normandy. Shout out to the new pastor, too, for allowing us to do it.
Awesome.
Yes.
To keep the tradition going.
Keep the tradition
10th
going.
District Council member Heather Hutt is teaming up with Eunice Hernandez, the CD1, to give away food boxes for the holiday season today. That's from 9 to noon at the Normandy Recreation Center. And judging from what Skipp is saying, you probably want to get there before 9.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's 9 to noon. Normandy Recreation Center is at 1550 South Normandy. They're doing turkey distribution, and they are giving away food boxes to go with the turkey. Mothers in Action is part of that. Community Build is part of that. And
do you know that's where Rocky used to play Little League Baseball?
I did not know that.
From Unity One, American.
I know Rocky. Yeah, rest in peace,
that's
Rocky.
That's where he started doing sports at Normandy.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Wow, that's wild. So, the footprints of activism and people making a difference are everywhere, and I'm glad, that people are doing it. It reminds me of Dr. Mabel John. She used to do something every Thanksgiving. Rest in peace, Dr. Mabel John. She made it to 90 plus 4. 89 plus 5. Continuing the conversation with Skipp Townsend and you're invited in 800-920-1580. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud. A great place for progressive politics. KBLA Talk 1580.
As veterans, we're no strangers to helping others.
That's what we were taught, service before self.
But we do have one question for the veterans listening.
When is the last time you reached out for help?
If you or someone you know needs resources, whether it's for stress, finances, employment, or mental health, don't wait. Reach out.
Find more information at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
Did you know there's a way to outsmart COVID if you get it? Now there are medicines that can treat COVID, whether or not you've been vaccinated, which is great news, especially if you're over 50. If taken in the first 5 days of having symptoms, COVID medicines can help stop the illness from getting serious. Call a healthcare provider or the statewide COVID hotline at 833-422-4255 to learn more about COVID medicines. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at choosemat.org.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the exclusive media sponsor of this light of ours, activist photographers of the Civil Rights Movement. A dynamic new exhibition on view now at the Skirball Cultural Center in Los Angeles. This light of ours showcases more than 150 photos taken by movement insiders from diverse backgrounds that reveal the vital work undertaken by a broad coalition of organizers and everyday people whose collective action changed America. This light of ours is one of 3 temporary exhibitions currently on view at the Skirball, which together explore issues related to civil rights, immigration, and pluralism. Tickets and more information for all 3 exhibitions are available at skirball.org. That's skirball.org. SKIRBALL.org.
Find a righteous rage And don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
We are celebrating the birthday of Skipp Townsend. We're celebrating the work and the legacy. I think, what you've laid out as far as the state of the city is alarming, but it's also reflective of what we're seeing and doing, walking around, just seeing so many people in misery and in need. It is really, it's a lot. And I think it wears on the mental health of the people that are not living in tents, but are struggling to stay housed, right? All the folks that are paying way too much of the money they make every month to stay housed.
Right. And think about how much we pay for entertainment. So we now have the SoFi Stadium. We have the Intuit Dome. They've changed the name of the Staples Center. But how much do we spend in entertainment to go to a Beyonce concert? I heard that was ridiculous. Oh,
it was amazing. I sure
okay,
did.
So I threw a rock into a pack of dogs.
Look, I mean, I said it on Instagram. It was the Beyonce concert or a new couch. Guess who doesn't have a new couch?
Right. So I mean, they have the box seats at the for the Rams games, the Chargers. The Clippers will be in Inglewood soon. So it's like, look at all the money that's spent on entertainment, and are we addressing the issues that some people can't even spend on rent?
No, it's a great point, because it's not just do I decide, how do I budget my money? Am I going to go to Beyonce or buy a couch? It's also a civic issue. How much of the city budgets go to subsidizing a crypto arena, or providing traffic and all of the city services that support that? Even though I know it brings money into the city. Same with the city of Inglewood. How much was spent to support a SoFi Stadium as opposed to investing in the human capital? Right. Which is, those folks that don't have a place to live.
Let's invest in the children and not the system.
Yeah. Well, so what does that look like in terms of, the average? Well, we'll look at that when we come forward. Like, damn, time flies when you are on the radio. I want to ask you about that, though, how people can get involved, at least in the piece that you're doing. We got some folks that want to talk to you. We'll get it all done when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Ask any former youth in foster care what they missed most while growing up, and they will most likely answer, someone to show me unconditional love. Now, isn't that something we all wished we could experience? Here in Los Angeles, up to 40% of homeless youth on our streets identify as LGBTQ+. The most prevalent reason for homelessness among this population is the rejection they've experienced from their own families. The LA County Department of Children and Family Services and Raise a Child are searching for safe, nurturing, and affirming foster parents within our community willing to stand up and serve all children and youth in foster care, especially LGBTQ youth. Learn the many benefits to becoming a foster parent. Attend a free Raise a Child virtual or in-person informational event to learn more. RSVP now at raiseachild.org. That's raiseachild.org. And thank you.
We're not for everybody, but we're for everybody. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
All right, we don't have a ton of time for my 55 million questions, so we're going to go right to Julie calling from Watts. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning, Dominique, and to everyone else. And like Mollyville says, giving honor to God and righteous ancestors and righteous elders. I want to ask the young man on the phone. I say young man because I'm 62.
He's in the studio, but okay, go ahead.
For information on how to get in touch with you, because Dominique, you and Melina know what we go through in LA Watts and my story from the front page to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so real simple. I can give you my office number. It's 323-763-2888. And my email is simply my name. It's Skipp, SKIPP, at secondcall.org. And second is not spelled out. It's the number 2, NDCALL.org.
Yeah. Skip with 2 P's at secondcall.org or 323-763-2888, the office number. Folks can come to the giveaway tomorrow.
Yes,
meet
35th
up at
in Normandy.
Yeah, 35th in Normandy.
Or they can also go online and look at what we do at www.secondcall.org.
Number 2, ND, call.org. Yeah. There's lots of ways to get involved, right? Yes. I mean, you can volunteer, you can come to the life skills training classes, which
every Thursday, 35th and North. The same place we give away 800 turkeys, the same place we give away life skills and careers. And we'll have about 30 people, maybe 35 show up. Whereas we give away turkeys, we'll have about 1,000 people.
Wow.
And that's
well, I mean, people responding to their need. They need life skills too. I get it.
Right.
But you know, I think we're wired to chase, food.
Right.
And companionship. Let me put it like that. Food and companionship. No, you don't buy that?
No, I think that people would rather get a fish dinner than for me to give them a fishing pole and give them a ride to the pond where the fish is. That's how I see it.
Okay, so why do you keep doing it then? You seem like you're skeptical of people or you're not optimistic about the state of the city, but you show up and suit up every day.
Because I see the development and growth. Guys like Blue and Modog in Long Beach, Local Mike on the east side, Gertz and Cynthia Nunn and Compton, and there's so many people that are gravitating towards and one of them, Tanya, she's not going to give me credit because she likes to fight, but she's one too that said, well, help me, show me, and she's been doing excellent in this work. So when I see the people that I've mentored the same way Looney and Bo and James Ingram and Jim Brown and Harry Belafonte mentored me, I got so much to give back, and that's why.
So you're paying it forward.
I'm paying it forward,
Minute and a half here. Yes. What do you want to say to us today on the day of your solar return?
I would like to say that I am truly grateful. I am humbled. And if I could share that with everybody, that I don't give advice, but I would like for everybody to humbly just be grateful that we have every opportunity, every blessing. I don't want to look at anything as a problem. I want to look at it as an opportunity to do better, to learn. So
why don't you give advice?
I don't give advice because I'd rather just share my experience and let a person take it or not take it, as opposed to be sitting there saying, no, you should do this and this is what you should do. I don't ever want to do that. I don't want to tell somebody what they should do.
I was wondering if it was connected to, one of the things that the Mayor I Can curriculum had that the Second Call curriculum also has is making I statements.
Yes.
Instead of saying people. Boy, I think Trump needs that curriculum.
Right.
People are saying.
Right.
No, it's I think.
I.
Well, yeah.
And the I statement actually has changed my life.
Really?
Yeah, I go everywhere and I speak in public, and it's because of the way I speak. I speak the same way Looney speak, with the confidence and the I statement. So people don't know
it's true.
Where I got it from.
If it's from you.
Right.
If I'm talking for me, you can't dispute it because I'm telling you what I think.
Or how I feel. You cannot dispute how I feel.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. It's verifiably coming from the source.
Yes, indeed.
Skipp Townsend, thank you for coming by and spending the beginning of what I hope is an amazing solar return with us on that Scorpio Sagittarian cusp.
It's a straight Scorpio. I got 2 more days until the Sagittarius. I don't share that.
You don't claim that.
It's all Scorpio. I got Scorpio attitude, Scorpio behavior.
Okay. Well, that means he's deep. All right. Time to call me, 800-920-1580. We got the Mindful Monday. Then we're going to talk. So much going on. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Good morning. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. A Democratic senator is calling the nation public could help Israel and the U.S. bolster their case in the court of world opinion. Civil rights activist, the Reverend